Coming up in today's episode.
And then finally, we were on board back.
Or so we thought. Bum bum bum, because now something happened. Now, first off, we went to the Blue Mosque, but it was not as cool as we thought it would be. It was actually a bit of a disappointment.
We're Quentin and Vianney,
Two guys trying to visit 40 countries before we turn 40.
we're taking the world on by trying to explore different countries, cultures, food, and by being as adventurous as possible.
We decided to film all of this for our future selves to look back on for one day when we are older. So let's go on a Kiwi travel adventure. Hi, future Quentin!
And hi, future Vianney.
And to all our friends and family watching, and today we are taking you to part 2 of Istanbul! And so we are back in Istanbul. We just arrived from Izmir, but this was quite some hectic traveling day because the flight got delayed. It took us how long did it take us to get here from the airport? 2 hours?
Yeah.
About 2 hours. Traffic was hectic, so we had to shift our plans a bit. So we're not doing exactly what we wanted, so we are on our way to the Egyptian Bazaar. What time is it now? It's close to 6. And Egyptian Bazaar closes 7:30, and we haven't seen it properly yet. So we want to go there and then check it out and see what that is like. And then we'll see what the rest of the evening brings.
Here we go.
And we are here in the streets of our little neighborhood. This is what it looks like in our neighborhood. And we are on the hunt for some baklava. And at that moment we found the perfect baklava shop where all the locals kept on shopping, so we just knew this is the place to get the baklava, and it was super cheap. It was the cheapest we could see from all of the places. We went all over Turkey at this time. It was only about 200 rand, or I think a little bit less even, per kilo. So yes, that was awesome, but most delicious baklava. And then after that we walked down to the Egyptian Bazaar, which was a spice bazaar more specifically back in the day, and it was funded obviously, as the name says, by the Egyptians. Now the Turkish flags are basically outside of each and every single shop, which is beautiful to see. The roof is extremely beautiful, so really such an awesome place to see. And they have different shops selling an array of Turkish delights that you can see everywhere. They also have tea sets, spices obviously, and then obviously there's a lot of baklava, and then some other stalls sold some clothing. There were also some dried fruits that you could see everywhere, as well as sweets, and there was a bunch of leather shops as well.
From the bazaar, we made our way to the streets in search of street food, and we passed the Yeni Kami Mosque, and it was just wonderful just to take it all in as the call of prayer started again. And we just took in the beauty of the mosque as night began to fall. And our first treat of the evening was a donut and a wet burger, and we even tried the local lokma. And now we are trying the famous lokma. Here we go. Wow. It's like a croissant cook system.
You think that it's gonna taste like a normal donut, but it's not. It's like a syrup kind of a donut.
After that, we made our way over the Galata Bridge, and we enjoyed the views along the way, and we had a pit stop for some Turkish ice cream. Thereafter, we made our way to the Galata Tower, where we would try the Sebastian cheesecake once more. We tried it at the Second Varela restaurant, which is just down the street, where you also had a beautiful view of the Galata Tower. Now, Quentin did enjoy the cheesecake, but I still was not convinced that the Sebastian cheesecake was the best in the world. And after our second taste of that, we walked back down from the Galata Tower to our hotel because we had to wake up very early the next morning.
So we woke up very early this morning, for the two main attractions here in Istanbul, so Blue Mosque and Hagia Sophia. And there it is, there's the first one. We sort of hoped that there wouldn't be as many people, but we made a great mistake. It's 7 o'clock in the morning and it's busy already. Maybe it's just busy with locals that are going to pray, I'm guessing, because it is almost pray time, so maybe it's that. But we just want a couple of shots with not as many people, so hopefully we can get there. Now, first off, we went to the Blue Mosque, which is highly awaited because obviously there's a big hype around it. So first off, on our way to the Blue Mosque, we decided to get our normal breakfast for the last time, which is simmet. So we got a cheese simmet as well as a Nutella simmet. And then we walked and we waited outside of the Blue Mosque. The line went very quick. There were only about 10 people in front of us, which was absolutely awesome. We couldn't go in with just our shorts like in all of the other mosques. We had to wear these sarong kind of things. So we had that. And then we were inside the mosque, but it was not as cool as we thought it would be. It was actually a bit of a disappointment. It's not as blue because that's obviously where the name comes from. They say it's from all of the blue tiles and we thought it would be a bit more blue, but it is just not. So it was actually quite disappointing for us. Yes, the detail is there and it's beautiful and the chandeliers are there and it's beautiful and the carpet, but it's just not as grandeur as we thought it would be, especially with the hype that is around it. However, the outside is truly beautiful. I do love the outside of it. So obviously the name comes from all the tiles on the inside and not from the look on the outside. So it's not blue on the outside, but I thought that the outside was better than what it was on the inside. That's just our personal opinion. And yes, we are very happy that we went early though, because you'll see later on why.
And after our visit at the Blue Mosque, we hopped down to the Hagia Sophia, and here we had to wait in the longest queue ever. This was seriously the main tourist attraction, and it was our first time being trapped in something that housed so many visitors. But the queue did go very fast and we made our way through to the very front. We were part of the very first group of people that went in for the morning. We went through security checks and then we entered. Now this is really, again, once we got inside, the biggest tourist attraction in Turkey. It's similar to what you would find in Paris with the Eiffel Tower. But we completely understand why, because it is incredible. The richness of the color and the texture of everything and the angels' faces that were unveiled, it was just so gripping. Even though it was packed with people, you still could just feel the essence of the holiness that was there. We had a few people that were praying because it's still an active mosque, and how you would see the old and the new and how they would collide and how the Catholicism would take over and then the Islamic traits will meet and then take over. And it was just a beautiful flow over from the one religion to the other with the beautiful drawings, and the chandeliers were just immaculate. It was just so royal and rich inside.
Now, a little history lesson of the Hagia Sophia. Obviously, at first it was built as a Catholic church, and then it went over and it was taken over during the Ottoman Empire and it became a Muslim mosque, obviously. But that's what makes this church so special, because obviously in a mosque you are not allowed to have faces, but as this is a tourist attraction and it was a museum at once before it became a mosque again, they started excavating some of it, so there's actually faces in this mosque. So after our visit there, we went to the Topkapi Palace, which is just behind the Hagia Sophia. We just went there for a quick photo just to go and have a look there, and this is where the Sultan stayed back in the day. And then and Vianney needed the toilet, so we made our way back to the Blue Mosque, because that's the only, ridiculously enough, that's the only public toilet that was close by where all of these tourists are. So we had to go all the way back to the Blue Mosque.
Guys, as you can see, it is full with people. And this is the reason why we woke up early this morning, to make sure that we could get a perfect unrushed view.
And this is the other queue. So this morning, that's the entrance over there. We were literally standing right over here and we got in. This is the other mosque, the Blue Mosque queue. And that's why you come early. Just check there. And Vianney is fixing his hair like he does the whole trip through. Yeah, check this line, check this line, check this line, all the way around. Actually, that's not where the line ends. So we were standing there filming the video showing you this side, but it comes out this way, this way, this way, this way, and then all the way. Wow. So after this, we just walked around the Hippodrome, where there's the old Egyptian obelisk that you can see, which is now right in the middle. And this is obviously where they had all of their kart races back in the day. And then after the mosque visit,
we went to the very first mall in the world, which opened in 1461, and this is the Grand Bazaar, which is still one of the biggest mall complexes in the entire world. Now, it was packed with an endless sea of people shopping and feasting on Turkish delight. The decoration on the ceiling this time was more minimalistic, but it was still effective and effortlessly beautiful. But the people were just too many and it was too busy, so we decided to go elsewhere, and we took a tram to Balat. Now, Balat is known for its vibrantly multicolored buildings and traditional European architectural finishings. We lived our best Instagram life here, and we had the most beautiful moments in a normal street, and we explored the rest of the neighborhood, and we made it to the center, which was again filled with tourists taking photos, making videos, and it made it quite impossible and to enjoy, because everywhere there was just people and you couldn't take in the beautiful decor. The cafe and restaurant owners were also quite frustrated, and they stopped people from entering their establishments if the people only came in to take photos or videos, so they didn't allow us to go in. It was also difficult to navigate your way through to the different parts of this beautiful colored street and this vibrancy in the decoration, and you couldn't enjoy the lifestyle because it was packed and it wasn't an easy move from one place to the other. So we headed back to our hotel, grabbed all our stuff, and we hopped on the bus, and we arrived at the airport, where we had our last P-Day, a mixed P-Day at P-Day, and we all indulged in Kunefe for the very last time. And then finally we were on board back to our hometown, South Africa.
or so we thought. Bum bum bum, because now something happened. First, our flight was slightly delayed. It was delayed for 30 minutes at first, and then after they said it was delayed for another 30 minutes, of which after that they taxied us out to the workstation, and they said they can't start up the plane, they have to do it manually. They tried again, so after sitting on the plane for an hour and a half, nothing happened, and they said, "We are so sorry to let you know, guys, that your flight is cancelled. Please don't worry, the people and the staff at the airport will assist you. There's no need to worry." That's what we thought, until we met the chaos. So at first we needed to hand in our passports because they needed to make copies of it so that we can get back into the country, but chaos erupted because there were hundreds of people. There was another flight that was cancelled, not only ours, and chaos erupted. People started fainting. I just started laughing. I thought it was very funny. Just took in the moment of all of this. We needed to go back through passport control, so all of this took, I think, another hour or two. We finally got back through passport control. Then we needed to collect our bags, and that was just such a big mess because all of the bags were just placed on top of each other. what a mess. And then they said, okay, all of us now need to run because we need to get to the bus station. So all of us ran. Everybody obviously trying to be first. Ran again. Now we finally got to the bus station. They said, no, just wait. The buses are on their way. Just wait a half an hour. And so we waited a half an hour, but nothing happened. So we just started from over there, waiting like, almost an hour. Came to this side, waited another half an hour. We are here now, probably going to wait another half an hour because we need to get there for the buses, because they are checking each and every single person individually. And then we finally boarded the bus only at 20 past 1 in the morning. We were still waiting. Now at this time we were very frustrated because this was now about 4 hours, I think, after we were supposed to have taken off already. Then it was another hour's drive back towards Istanbul to get a hotel, which was just such a big mess because they couldn't really tell us where we would stay or what the accommodation would be like. But we finally arrived there just for more mess to come along and more chaos, because now we needed to stand and wait in even more queues because they needed to check us in. Obviously there's a lot of people. And then the Emirates staff also started with their nonsense because they said, okay, all of you have to be out by 11 o'clock. But we received a message on our app, on our Emirates app, that our flight would only be the next evening around about 11 o'clock at night. Now obviously that means we only need to be at the airport by like 9 o'clock. So we were just like, I'm sorry, we are not going to do this. We are not leaving the next morning at 11 because that means we'll have to sit at the airport the whole day. And they said, no, there's going to be a flight at 3. So we thought, okay, whatever. So we just stayed there in the morning. We had some breakfast and then they said, okay, they will only make an arrangement for us at the hotel. So we stayed there, we slept, which was great. And then eventually they kept us there and we only left with the taxi. So we took the taxi around about 6-7 o'clock. We took the taxi and we arrived back. And then when we got to board the plane, we met all of the other South Africans that left 11 o'clock in the morning that stayed with us. So they were there at the airport from 11 o'clock in the morning because of the lies that people told. But yes, in the end we boarded and we made our way back to South Africa. So yes, that brings our conclusion of Turkey.
But until then, we'll see you
In Bangkok!
Next time on Kiwi Travel Adventures.
We are a bit shocked by some of the prices since we were here last. Some of these prices are
triple.
Almost triple, yes. Let's see what's happening here at the Chinatown. We are basically actually just looking for one thing. Is it nice?
Oh my god.
Vienna, there's some scorpion behind you.
I think we need another one for the road. This is the one, guys.